Hey guys, it's Alex again, back for another video. And in this one, we're going to talk about how it is that I make an initial offer. Alright, so this is going to be based off the conversation from my last seller call, number 4, the live call number 4. And this is going to be how I structure an offer with that seller. Alright, so let's start with the price. So to start, I don't do much homework on the price at this stage, okay? I don't look at any comps. All I need is a rough ballpark to send them a proposal so that we can have another conversation and book an appointment to go see the house. Once I book an appointment to go see the house, then I'm going to do a little more homework as far as comp searching and trying to get this number here a little more accurate. For now, the way I find it is because I'm a real estate agent, I have access to this tool here. It's called Regime, and it gives me an average valuation estimate based off these 4 values here. So it's Zillow, it's ePraisal, it's Black Knight, it's First American. It does an average of these 4 estimated values, and it comes up with this number here. You could do the same thing if you just did Zillow, if you did Redfin, and if you did ePraisal and divide that number by 3, you'll find that it's going to come to around the same valuation. All right, we're going to be right around 600,000. Now, again, this doesn't have to be perfect, and there's no way you can get it perfect. So all you just need to do is just find a ballpark number that makes sense, and I find that this works well. So for me, I'm going to round up and call it 610. So use the number 6099, which is where you see there. That's how I got the price, literally. And I'm not going to, until I book an appointment, because it doesn't make sense for me to do a little more homework on this unless I know I have a seller that's open to the type of terms. And I only know that after he reviews it and after we book an appointment and have another conversation about this. All right. As long as I know that he could wait for his equity in the end, and our terms are in the same ballpark, then we can book an appointment, and then I'll do a little more homework on the price. So I hope that part makes sense. But that's how I got my price, literally. It took less than a minute. Okay. All right. So here's what I would take it to the market to. Again, we're looking at the assigned back lease purchase option. All right. So this is what a conventional sale would look like if you went through a realtor. This is what a sandwich lease purchase would look like if he wanted to stay in the middle. This is what an owner finance offer would look like if he had no mortgage and he was okay with principal only payments. And I'm not going to go into detail regarding which one, but here are my profit centers for each: for a sandwich, for an owner finance, for an AO, which means wholesaling lease option, and for a wholesale deal, traditional wholesale deal, assuming the house needed a lot of repairs. All right, you can see my minimums here. So my minimum deal for a sandwich, I want it, if I'm staying in the middle, and I'm not going to close on it, but I'm going to have one of my investor friends close on it, and I'll earn a referral or wholesale fee. So I can literally wholesale a sandwich lease option, technically. Minimum profit's $50,000, because I know that's what the investor is looking to net, at least $50,000 to stay in the middle over the course, over the term of the asset. All right, hope that makes sense. Lease option, a wholesaling lease option, my minimum profit's $5K. In this case, you'll see how I got to the $18,000 potential profit. So that's the price. What I generally do when I take it to the buyer market is raise it roughly anywhere between 5 to 7%. All right, I raise it 5 to 7%, and our buyers are willing to pay that premium on it because they can't qualify today, and we're giving them a pathway in the form of a pre-screening, in the form of one of our mortgage brokers that might be able to help them out, in the form of a credit enhancement company that can help them out, in the form of them being mortgage ready within the time frame that you give them, generally speaking 12 to 24 months. All right, so we raised the price a bit to cover the cost of our fee, so that doesn't come out of the seller's net. General term is going to be 12 to 24 months, and I'll show you what the offer looks like as well. Down payment, generally speaking, I educate my buyers, to have anywhere between 3 to 10%, but when it comes to making an offer, I put down 5%. All right, generally speaking, this is what we're going to get from a buyer. And this only applies to assign outs, right? Because the buyer needs to know how we're going to get paid and how they're going to get paid. So that's how we got this number. I showed you how we got this number. I showed you how we got the buyer price, option price. I showed you how we got the down payment, 5% of this number, generally speaking. And to make the number simple, you can see what I did. So this is going to be the price that I'm going to take it to the market. And then once I know that I can 5% of this is going to be roughly 30,000. And then once I know that, this number minus that number is going to come down to the 6099, which is what I'm going to offer the seller. And here's what it's going to be due at financing, because this 30,000 is going to be credited towards this purchase price for the buyer, which means they're going to now have a due at financing of 6099. But when you add back, and when it comes to the seller's adjusted net, when you add back the 609 plus the $15,000 to the sellers from the 50-50 split of this, that's how they get their net of 624.9. All right. So again, we're looking for a $30,000 option deposit. We're going to split this with the seller. That's what I do. I just do that to keep it simple. I do that to make the presentation simple. I do it to really avoid further objections, or in the future I'll probably raise this to like a 70-30 split in my favor, and only now am I starting to keep this first month's rent as my compensation as well, with some simple negotiation. Right before I was giving this away, and now I'm actually keeping that to increase my potential profit, and it's just coming from your posture and your negotiation skills. I might do a separate video on that. It's more of an advanced negotiation tip on how to keep the first month's rent, but that's not the purpose of this video. All right, so I'm showing you how I got the numbers for the price. I'm showing you how I got the numbers for the down payment. I'm showing you how the seller's going to net, or what they're going to net. So again, 6099 plus their portion of 15,000 brings them to 624.9, right? And within a 12 to 24 month term, that's what they're going to net. Versus if they did a conventional sale here, assuming it was 6099, using basic numbers, if they were to use an agent, that's 5% off right there. If they were to pay their own closing costs, if they were to come up with pricing, if the buyer were to negotiate 3% lower, which ends up being the case a lot of times, then this is what their net would be, 542 compared to 624. And then I have this number here to show that difference. So they would net roughly $80,000 more doing a wholesaling lease option than had they sold traditional. All right. Yeah, they would get all their cash up front with this one at a big cost, versus if they can wait a little bit, they would net a lot more doing it this way. All right. So I hope that part makes sense. Again, here are my profit centers. If I were to do an AO, would be 18,000, because I'm splitting this with the seller, plus I'm keeping first month's rent. So it's 18,300 to me. All right. If we were to do a sandwich, first off, I make this deal super sweet. All right, because I generally only want to focus on the wholesaling lease options in the beginning, and I'm still a novice at this, of course, right? So don't take everything I say verbatim, but this is just how I do it at the moment. And this is the stay and lease purchase option. So what I do is I have a big discount go here, right, making the deal sweet, and I also have a $500 a month desired cash flow in this deal, which makes the net here almost $80,000 over the course of a 3-year term, not including principal pay down, because as you know, when you have a mortgage, every single month the principal pays down. So at the end of 3 years, when you include all that principal pay down, it's going to probably be like a $100,000 deal. And if the seller takes this option because they're motivated, because they don't want nothing to do with anything to do with being a landlord, they want no ties to the property, this is why they would take this option. Maybe they might be moving out of state. Maybe they don't want to be a landlord at all. They don't even want to collect a check, even if the buyer is taking care of all responsibilities with repairs. They don't want the assigned back option. They want the stay in option. I'm going to refer this to one of my investors. Right? There's a lot of investors out there that would love to have $500 a month in cash flow over the course of 3 years, and at the end of the day, net nearly $100,000 when you factor in the mortgage pay down. But we'll call it $80,000 on the life of this asset. Right? You're basically creating an asset that creates passive income. These are the types of deals that eventually I'm going to want to stay in, but at the moment, I'm focusing on the AOs. All right, so I hope this makes sense. This is an offer off the live seller call number 4. So the price we have $609. The monthly is going to be $3,300 a month. And again, I got that information from, you can basically go on Zillow and Redfin. I use Regime, which gives me a rental estimate, which gives me a price estimate. Where was I? And then the down payment to the seller is going to be $15,000, and the term is going to be 12 to 24 months. So here's how the offer looks. When I send them the offer, here's option one. In the case for this seller, we mainly spoke about this option because his only goal is to net as much as he can for it, right? The reason he's selling is because he wants the highest price possible, which means he wants to net the most he can possible. Some sellers, not all sellers want that. Some sellers just want total relief of their property, total relief of their mortgage. In that case, option two might be better, but in that case, I'd probably present both. In this case, I'm just going to present them this one option because it's going to show very, very well versus the other option. I could do both, you know, but in this case, I'm just showing you that the wholesaling lease option, which is the assigned back lease purchase, is how I word it. And I also mentioned it's best for builders and other investors because they net the most doing it this way. So there's his purchase price, $609, monthly rent, $3,300, term 12 to 24 months. It's going to be depending on the buyer once I bring them to the table. The amount down is going to be about $15,000, and the net, I have it right here. All right, that's the first page, and then on the next page, I have a lease purchase versus conventional sale. Here's what they net for a conventional sale, $542 after you decrease these costs here, and then the total equity savings from when you compare a wholesale and lease purchase offer to a conventional sale is roughly $80K, and that's going to open their eyes. And this is what's going to create a follow-up call conversation, hopefully. And yeah, so this is literally the offer I'm going to send them. I'm going to email them. I know I went through this pretty quickly. I want to keep these videos under 15 minutes. I'm almost at 12 minutes now, so I'm about to wrap up. But yeah, hopefully all of this made sense. I know this would have been super helpful for me when I was first starting out to learn how to make an offer after a conversation with a seller. So I hope you feel the same way. If you have any questions at all, just leave them in the comment section. Be happy to answer them. And I guess we can go from there. So I'll leave these videos up. I'm still going to keep the make the seller ones private because, as you know, I could potentially get fined for recording those. But these ones here should be fine. So I'll leave these ones up for the time being, even though I could make these private. This is pretty good content right here. But yeah, just feel free to leave a comment. Also, if you want to get access to the live videos, want to get access to more of these videos, be sure to hit that bell and subscribe, and look out for the next one. Thanks for watching.